I would like to couple up with is Zachariah. Molly, you are now single and therefore have been dumped from the island. Please pack your bags and say your goodbyes.
Am I surprised that Molly's gone home? Not really. Not really. I have, I think this is the best thing that could have happened to her. Her couple wasn't working for her. So I think her going home was the best thing that happened to her. Was I surprised that Kady chose Zachariah? No, because she's the one she pulled more for chest than anyone else. And I don't think she wanted the chaos and commotion that came with the other guys. I think the idea of going into a love triangle with Ella was way too much for her to handle. And I think she didn't want to be in the Scott and Catherine dynamic because Catherine is too sweet. And I think she didn't want to come across as the bad guy. So I think Zachariah was the easiest bet for her. Zachariah said she was his type, so I think that's why he was having to be picked. But hey, it is what it is. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's Valerie. I'm so sorry about the late review. Work at the moment is busy, so hey, it is what it is. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, leave a like, a comment, and turn on your notification bell for when I upload new videos. So in this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island, Season 10, Episode 19. So after recoupling, everybody branches off into their couples. I think everyone else is still in the same couple they were in outside of the 4 that were sort of split up when they were deemed as not compatible. And so we have Whitney having a chat with Maddie. I hate how that was edited out because it was edited out to make it seem like Whitney had no choice but to settle for Maddie, and she was so giddy that she, at the idea that she was back with Maddie, that she just jumped into his lap and was kissing him. I think they must have had an in-depth conversation, and I think one of the reasons why Maddie was going after Leah is because he was unsure about his relationship with Whitney. I think it's because Whitney is she can be very giggly and very jokey. So at times it's difficult for him to gauge whether she's actually serious, that she's developing feelings for him or not. Because he did ask her that, did you mean everything you said? And she said, yes, of course I did. What do you think? Do you think I was making it up? And so it's nice to see that they're in a good place. He said she is his priority. He's always, even when he said he wanted to get to know Leah, he's always implied that, Whitney is still, he's still very interested in Whitney. He's happy with where they are. And so it was, uh, I'm happy they're back together, but I wish Whitney had played a bit hard to get. I wish she had made him work for it. I don't know whether he said something on his part that sort of convinced her that he still wants to be with her, and this is why she agreed to make up with him. And then Ty has to come and comment and say, have the two of you made out? And it's like, Ty, leave them alone. They're just, trying to find their groove again. Leave them alone to sort of move on from where they are. Um, and then Sam and Mal are chatting. There's nothing new to that conversation. Most of the conversations in the villa are really sad in the sense that there's nothing substantial that's being discussed. I know the producers apparently always try and stop them from saying certain things or having certain conversations, but it's always, I like you, you look cute, do you fancy me, do I fancy you, oh, that was a good kiss. And that seems to be the only conversations we hear from everyone. And so Sammy was very happy that he was picked by Mal. I think he knew that she was his only hope because Leah was never going to pick him and just couldn't pick him because she's being told she can't pick him. So he seemed very excited, although he tried to play it down and make it seem like, Mal was more excited than him. And it's like, boy, sit down. Jess was having a conversation with Mitch and she was telling Mitch that, she's no longer worried about Sammy. She's decided to move on. I've said this before. I like Mitch and his toxicity, and the only girl in the villa that can handle Mitch is Jess. And so I think because he's already sort of created this tension with Ella, Catherine, and Whitney, even if they had a choice whether to go home or stay in the villa to be matched with Mitch, I don't think they would want to. And I think Jess is his only hope, and Jess is the only person who can sort of contain him if he starts to get out of hand. I don't know whether there's anything romantic, but I think they'll keep each other in the villa until they get to either Casamo or maybe until Jess goes back to Sammy, which I think is highly unlikely. Catherine is happy. She's in a good place with Scott. Does Scott like Catherine? I think so. I think he fancies her more than Zachariah did. I think Zachariah came in with a game plan. Scott might have come in with a game plan, but I think he's realized that Catherine is actually more than what she seems. And I think this is why he's decided to sort of stand away from Leah and sort of stay with Catherine. So I hope that works out for them. And then, oh my God, my guy Montel, he took Leah straight up to the terrace. They had a conversation and they shared their first kiss, and it's like, oh my god, couldn't you wait? Or maybe the producers pushed them to go up and kiss. I don't know. We'll see how that plays out. I hope they have a great connection. They seem to like each other, so which is good. And then Zachariah and Molly. Oh God, what conversation were they having? I don't even know. Zachariah and Molly are so boring. There's nothing really going on with the two of them. Zachariah, I think, apart from the fact that he tried to play Catherine, he hasn't really brought anything to the villa that would make him stand out. It's not like Mehdi or Whitney who sort of read people or make this give these one liners. He is really nothing. So I don't know how that plays out. And then everybody gets ready for bed. I think there's something going on between Mitch and Sammy because they were not in the same group. I think ever since Sammy found out that Mitch was recoupling with Jess, he hasn't been happy, and I think this is why they've decided to separate them so that they can discuss their current connections. So in the morning they have their debriefing. Zack is saying same old, same old. There's nothing new with Zack and Molly. They just make out in bed and that's it. Uh, Catherine said she was in a happy place because she and Scotty seem to be doing very well. So they made out in bed as well. And Sammy and apparently Mal cuddled in bed, which everyone was surprised by. And Sammy, on his part, said, he's managed to get over the fact that he's country couple with Jess, and he seems happy that, Mal has picked him, which was to be expected. Um, Apparently Mitch and Jess were chatting and they were laughing and they were giggling in bed. I think, as I've said before, they make a great couple, so I'm not surprised. And then Leah, obviously, Molly had to bring it out that Leah and Montal kissed on the terrace, and everyone was excited for her because I think this is the first time she's been in a coupling where there's no tension and there's no competition for her. And then they asked Whitney about her and Maddie, and Whitney eventually revealed that she did kiss Maddie. They gave each other a peck in bed, but they'd also kissed while they were sat outside because they had made up. And so, with all the relationships, it seems everything is going okay. But I think at the moment, my favorite is Whitney and Maddie, even though they have the tension that's there. I think Montel and Leah are going to be very boring and fans are going to turn off from them. I don't know. That's just my impression because there's really nothing standoutish about them. I think Montel would have been better off getting someone with a lot of character, someone like Whitney, someone that would bring attention to him. Because Leah, I don't know, maybe she'll come out of her shell, but I don't see it. Whitney then receives a message that the girls are going for a spa day, and the guys actually complain. I've said this before. I don't know why Love Island always does this, whereby the girls get all the treats, they get to get the coffees brought up to them, everything is done for them, and the guys never get anything. But hey, it is what it is. So the girls go for their spa day. There's no conversation really taking place that's interesting. The boys back at the villa. Everyone, I think, is surprised. So Zachariah and Sammy are sitting with Ty, and Ty sort of lets them know that he's missing Ella. He really wants her back. He wants her to be sitting beside him. And the guys are sort of asking him that, so does this mean you're closed off then? Does it mean that you're a changed man? You've turned a new leaf? And Zachariah is saying, yes, I've noticed it. I think this is what Ty needed. Love Island, in the sense that he needed to be isolated in an area where there weren't that many sort of distractions, because he does say at times he actually finds himself sort of thinking before he speaks to make sure that whatever he's saying is not going to be offensive to anyone or to Ella. So he thinks he's grown, and I think he has grown, although saying that he went back to his Thai ways. Anyway, so then Kady arrives in the villa and all the boys are excited. Surprisingly, Zachariah has the type. And the type is not the type that he said were his favorites when he walked in. When he walked into the villa, he made it seem like he was interested in Catherine, Richie, and Ella. And surprisingly now, his type is Caden, blue eyes, brown hair. And it's like, make it make sense. Molly is neither that, and also the three girls that you mentioned when you came into the villa are not in. So what do you mean they're your type? And Ty has the audacity to say that, well, I'm not fully closed off. And all the guys were like, what the hell? You've just been saying you missed Ella and suddenly you're not closed off. Oh well, I'm not saying I'm wide open, but there's a little smidge there that if anyone wants to come in, I think he just likes the idea of flirting, and so he thought if he lets her know that he's closed off, she won't want to flirt with him. And I think Ty likes to flirt with anything in a skirt. So any new girl that walks into the villa, he wants to have the opportunity to sort of flirt with her. And Scott, oh my God, Scott was excited, especially when he was asked about his eyes. You could tell, like if he was a cartoon character, there would be his eyes would be popping out. And so I don't know. The guys were laughing and saying, Catherine who? Because of the way he changed and appeared to have completely forgotten about Catherine when all his attention has been on Catherine up until now. So I think the guys were surprised by that. And then Sammy and Maddie took her for a trip around the villa. And it was surprising that Sammy was the first one who offered to take her. And he actually picked Maddie. I think he didn't want competition. And I think he knows Maddie is still in the doghouse with Whitney and would not want to try anything else soon after the Leah debacle. So I think he's trying to sort of get his foot in. You could see when she came back, after going around the villa, Kady sat with Zachariah and had a conversation. Zachariah was being standoffish. I think Zachariah was being standoffish because he wants Kady to try and sort of pursue him. I think he wants to have sort of the ability to say to Molly, well, she came after me. I didn't go after her, so you wanted plausible deniability. So I don't know how that's going to play out. The girls then receive a text message and they see Kady in the villa and they lose their minds. Oh my God. So Katie is having a chat with Scott and Ty. I think because she's likes both of them and she's trying to sort of avoid getting in trouble. I think she was trying to make sure that the girls didn't walk in when she was sitting with one of them. I think she wanted to be fake in who she's interested in. And Ty is like, oh, maybe it would be better for you to pull us one at a time instead of you pulling us both. And it's like, Ty, you say the door is barely open. Why do you want to be pulled on your own? What is it you want to say to her? Ty is a serial flirt. I don't think he cheats. I don't remember him saying he cheated, but I think he just loves to flirt and he just loves to see the girls' reactions. Anyway, the girls arrived back from their spa day and they are not happy. You can tell that they're smelling blood. And he had already told everyone that Ella's going to be territorial. And it wasn't surprising. It wasn't surprising because after speaking to Kady, the guys take their girls into little groups to have conversations. And, you know, um, Catherine is a bit sort of dismissive in the fact that she says, "Oh, Kady said you were very interested and you were very nice and blah blah blah." And he said, "Okay." Scott says, "I told her I was open. I'm not yet fully closed off, so I'm open to getting to know her." I think Scott might like her, but I think if he sees there's a lot of competition, he's going to take a step back because I don't think he likes the idea of being insecure. I think he likes the security that he gets with Catherine, knowing that Catherine is feeling him and he is feeling her, and I think that's where he wants to stay. He did tell Kady that, Catherine is a beautiful girl, she's very intelligent. So he does say some nice things about her. So hopefully he doesn't get his head turned. And then Ty decides to put Ella for a chat. And it was bound to happen. The fact that he can't, so he tells Ella that he's open to getting to know Kady. And yet, you know, the fact that he's puzzled by her being upset doesn't make sense because when Ella was trying to get to know one of the bombshells, I remember Ty saying to her, when she was trying to get to know, I think it was Scott or someone. I remember Ty giving her 3 hours and telling her, you only have 3 hours to get to know this guy. If after 3 hours you don't like him, that's it. And it was like, why? Why are you putting her on a clock? Why can't you just allow her to be? And yet now it's his turn. He says he wants to see to have conversations with Kady. And Ella says, why? We are good where we are. Why do you need to bring in somebody else? He's now upset that why are you getting upset? And it's just like, oh my God, this circle, we're back on the merry-go-round. When shall we get off? I think they thrive on their toxicity, and it's good for them because it gives them screen time. Because otherwise, if they're just happy-go-lucky and they're easygoing, then there's no screen time for them. I think part of it is it just gives them screen time, and I think it's frustration. I don't know, the sexual tension or whatever the hell is going on with them, but something is happening with Ty and Ella, and their communication skills are terrible. Even though they were part of the people that were calling out about Sammy and Jess having poor communication skills. Ty is crazy. He's self-sabotaging, and it's really sad to see him spiral. I think the idea of commitment is what scares him. This is why he's been in so many relationships because he pulls Kady up to the terrace, and it's like, why? Of all the places you could talk to her, you didn't need to go to the terrace unless the producers pushed you to go to the terrace. And everybody knows that every couple that's gone up to the terrace has made out. And Ella was now upset. She was even more upset than she was when he told her he wanted to go to know Kady. And they do have a conversation, but you can see that Kady, I don't think she's really into Ty. I think she doesn't want the drama. I think she saw what happened with Leah, so I don't think she really wants the drama with Ty. I think she's more interested in Zack because she pulled Zack a couple of times, and you could see Molly was shaking because I don't think she expected Kady to go after Zack. And there was a conversation that took place in the bedroom that I was a bit surprised by, because Mitch was sort of, uh, it was sort of, I don't, he was questioning Montel to say, oh, so you wanted the kiss, that's why you took Leah up to the terrace, and Montel was like, no, she wanted to kiss me, and that's why we kissed. Not that I forced her. He tried to make it seem as though Montel forced Leah to kiss, and it's like, why would you do that? That's not appropriate. She is a consenting adult. If she's consented to that kiss, there's no need for you to make it seem like she really wasn't into it. This is where we come back to his comments about saying that the guys were not interested in Catherine and Whitney. And it's like, Mitch, why? What makes you think that people are not attracted to people like Catherine, people like Whitney, people like Montel? What makes you think they're not attractive to any other race? I don't get that. So the girls are having a conversation at the fire pit. You have Jess, Catherine, Whitney, and Ella. And I think that what started the conversation was Ty and his decision to sort of say that he is open to getting to know Kady. So they're having a conversation, and it seems like they're planning on giving the boys a treat of their own medicine, because they do talk about the fact that, they're going to start flirting. Whitney is worried that if she does start flirting with someone, will that turn off Maddie? Because I think Whitney really likes Maddie, and I think she feels she's set in her couple and doesn't want to do anything to jeopardize that. Uh, I think Ella knows that none of the guys in the villa at the moment would want to flirt with her because they don't want to face Ty's wrath. But I think if she does start flirting, Ty would lose his rag. He would really lose his mind because the last time he gave her 3 hours. So the idea of him seeing her start to flirt with someone else, that would just drive him over the edge. But we'll see how that plays out. Um, Jess then receives a message to say all islanders gather around the fire pit, and I think they were all not expecting it. I had a feeling she was going to pick, Kady, given the fact that she had already pulled one of the guys twice for a chat. He was the first guy we saw her chatting to, and then we saw her chat to him again. And so I wasn't surprised that she chose him. So Kady stands up. She's asked to pick a guy she wants to couple up with, and she decides she wants to couple up with Zack. And I think that's because she saw the commotion with Ty and just didn't want to be part of that drama. When she spoke to Mitch, she was very dismissive. She seemed like she wasn't interested. I think she might have been interested in Scott, but I think the fact that she liked Catherine, or something happened with Catherine, I think this is why she left Scott alone. Sammy, I don't think she was really interested in him at all. I didn't see her have any conversations with him apart from him giving her a tour. So the producers are producing. Am I surprised that Molly went home? No, because I think Molly was not doing herself any service by staying in the villa. I think her going home with this drama gives her more to talk about than her having gone home if Zachariah had recoupled with somebody else, because there's not that much storyline. Whereas now she can go home, play victim, play to the fact that the producers eliminated her after they brought in a bombshell, and I think that will give her sort of more than 5 minutes on the of fame, because otherwise her coupling with Zachariah was becoming stale. It was becoming boring. The producers, I think, really wanted this couple, and the couple sadly was not working. It wasn't giving what it's supposed to give. It wasn't giving sort of the Ty and Ella effect, whereby there's drama, there's chaos, there's love, there's everything under their same umbrella. Or it wasn't giving what Whitney and Maddie gave, which is at times it's funny, at times it's sad, at times you're angry, like when Maddie was trying to flirt with Leah. So I think this is why she's been pulled out, because she's not giving what she was supposed to give, and I think she's become so boring. And I think they thought that by recoupling her with Zachariah, she had a better chance after Mitch was becoming very creepy. But sadly, her coupling with Zachariah was stale. Even on their date, nothing stood out, and I think this is where the producers decided that it's time to pull her out. So they pulled her out. Zachariah, on his part, yes, he was upset that Molly said she was being eliminated, but I don't think he'll really miss her that much. I think he was very happy that he was chosen. And Ty, after wanting to give Kady a chance. I think as soon as he realized that Molly was eliminated, I think he was happy that he hadn't been the one that was chosen, because I think Ty likes the idea of flirting, but I think the idea of Ella going home and leaving him is something that he would not have liked. So I think he's happy that at the end of the day, Kady did not choose him. She chose somebody else. And I think he's happy with that. Yeah, it's sad to see Molly go, but she really wasn't bringing anything to the villa at all. Amongst all the girls, Molly and Leah, I think, had the most boring. Mal is something else. There's something going on with Mal, but I don't know what it is. We'll wait and see. But I don't think Molly had a place in the villa. I think there were other strong characters or personalities in there that they overshadowed her. And as much as the producers tried to shine the spotlight on her, it wasn't working. So I think it's best that they send her home. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Bye everyone.